How about your wife and daughter?
They're about the same. My wife just went on a 16-hour job, and then my daughter's, I think, preparing something or doing something. But they're fine. They're fine.
Well, that's good.
My middle children came and got me for I told them I wasn't going out for Christmas, so they came and got me anyway, and we went and ate Chinese food. Yeah, so that was fine.
Oh, that's yummy right there.
I had one. How you doing, Gary?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Hey,
Fine.
Gary.
So I had a guy call me the other day. He says I didn't recognize his number, so I thought it was a spam. So I said hello. He said yes. He says I'm looking for somebody, and he mentioned some name. I said, I think you have the wrong number. He says, is this Renard Bryan? I said, yes. He said, I got the right number. So anyway, he's somebody that joined the school. I can't remember whether he told me. I get it mixed up with Theo telling me that he came into class in '87. And this guy told me that he was walking down Grand Street and saw this big a Star of David on the side of a building, and it says Baker's Hall. I said, that's a long time ago. He said, yes. He said, and I went in and I participated, and I attended the class there. He said, but I'm living up in Seattle, and I wanted to know, I'm coming down in, I think, June or sometime whenever they have the convention, they have that activity. He's coming down for that, and he wanted to know, can he meet with me? I said, of course. I said, I'll give you a site. You can come to the site. You can meet us on the site, or you can meet us when you come down. So I was hoping that he would come today. I gave him the information.
Well, that's nice. So
Yeah.
is he currently in?
He didn't say. He saw David Hendricks and because he couldn't see. Nobody know Rita by Laretha. I was a grown man before I found out her name was Rita. I always knew about Rita, and we've been knowing each other since I was in my early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, yeah. He said that I remember. He said, I remember David, the usher. I said, David Hendricks? He said, yeah, I don't know his last name. And I remember Laretha. I said, oh, gee. But anyway, we tried to do a conference call between Sheila, Rita, and myself yesterday or 2 days ago, to try to see if he was available, but he wasn't available. So I thought maybe he might come today.
Well, that'd be cool.
It's Shelley.
Currently in class. If not, that would.
Okay. I'm gonna turn my sound off. So I think maybe the ones that's causing it to go haywire now. It only happened maybe more than you and I.
No, I said I'm wondering if he's still currently in class or not, because if not, that would mean that General Assembly has drawn quite a bit of people out of the woodworks.
He seemed to know everybody. So I mean, he didn't tell me he knew everybody. Let me take it back. But he seemed to know his way around because he's been attending school class someplace, and we talked for maybe about 20 minutes. Yeah.
But does
But you may be right, Jonathan. I'm not sure, but we'll find out if he do come. But I'll talk to him one more time. But I think he got the information from our site. He's been going to the Ayasha Aya site. That's what he told me.
Yeah, your phone number.
We kind of. Is
Yeah,
it just low? Is the volume low today, or should I hang up and call back in?
I can hear you. Get the speaker on.
Oh, let me see. I don't know.
We don't hear you now. I hear you humming a little bit, I think.
I thought I was on speaker, but
I hear you just fine.
okay. Yeah, you guys are so low, and I thought I turned my phone all the way up. Okay, say something else.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Earbuds.
Okay. It's the same. Wait a minute. I'm not.
But anyway, I didn't tell you, Jonathan, that Theo had called me a couple of days ago.
Oh yeah, you know he called me to tell me he called you. Yeah, he called me shortly after.
Yeah, he told me he got the phone number from you. And we had a good conversation, so happy about that.
Yeah, he said he wanted to meet up with you when he went down to the General Assembly.
I'm trying to debate whether I want to give them $160 or not. Right.
Okay. That's better. And what was the guy's name again, Renard?
His name was Eugene Roberts, I think it was.
Oh, Eugene.
Yeah, I don't know him by that, but he intimated that he may have come to our class, or maybe he just saw it online. I'm not sure, Shirley. Because he did tell me that
he had to have come at some point if he knows those names. We don't mention names online.
But they're on the site. They're on the site.
Oh.
They're on the site. That's what someone told me. You're on the reader did. She said you're on the site. So I said, oh, maybe that's where he got David's name from and your name. Or,
I didn't know.
Yeah,
Your
I
phone
gave
number.
him step by step. I went through it step by step with him how to come on this to our class here, and I haven't heard back from him. I haven't heard back from him yet.
Well, he might be, he might be getting together with people who's going to that thing. When is it?
He said June or something like that. I think he said.
Oh, in June. Oh, okay.
I think that's what he said. And then Theo told me it costs $160, but they have to approve you to let you in.
Yeah, that's that's a bit much for.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It wouldn't be if the truth was being taught.
Yeah.
I would pay $200 if it was a founder gonna be there and for whatever reason I wouldn't be masked. But because I know what they teach, I ain't interested. And then that's a hardship to pay out that kind of money for BS.
Well, that's the funny thing. The price tag automatically tells you the truth ain't being taught.
Exactly. Because all they would have said, your dinner's going to cost $30 or $40 plus the tip, and if you're going to stay in the hotel, that's what the hotel rates are, and you threw it. But they asked you for $160 up front. You don't stay no place.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy.
And you might not be eating. You might not be eating either.
And I'm sure the place ain't written for if they even get 500 people. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
That's a half a meal right there.
Oh yeah.
And what building they written for $500,000?
They're renting the LA Convention Center.
Well, they're looking for a lot of people to come.
Yeah. That's why that's how they're trying to justify the $160 price tag. Is we're renting the convention center in LA. It's a big price tag. Well, maybe it's about $12,000 or so to rent it out the way y'all trying to rent it out. But y'all about to make a whole lot of overhead.
Or they about to take a loss. I mean, considering how many schools have they kicked out, you know?
Well, all the members who were members of IDMR before those schools ended and stuff like that, if you were ever a member in the history of IDMR, you're welcome.
Oh.
I can't go. My uncle was talking to Keith Gilkey personally to try to get permission for me to go, and Keith Gilkey gave him nope.
Oh, stop. Oh, stop. Now see, that's just like telling somebody they can't come to Florida.
Yeah, right. My uncle was trying to plead with him on the basis that Dr. Harris in LA had given me a restraining order, so that kind of prevented me from becoming a member, and maybe that, and they were like, nope.
Well, he shouldn't even brought that up.
You know, even if you were a criminal, they should have. I mean, you just got out of prison or whatever. You're not supposed to be cutting them off. They cut themselves
what
off.
Messiah say? I didn't come to say the righteous.
Right.
I mean, did he not tell them that? I didn't come to say the righteous. If you all righteous, then hey, what are you worried about? Going on about your business.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I can't justify in my soul paying that kind of money to go somewhere for somebody to refute absolutely everything that I understand.
To hear the gospel be bastardized.
You know, that's too much. I mean, and then it's like because the whole object and the job of it is to feed the man. Yahweh said, "You love me, feed my sheep." Now, how you gonna feed them with old types and shadows, or what is it? What's Kim say it? You gotta go to the old. Well, what is it? How you say that? About taking us back to the physical, and you gotta
it's
go
the quote
to the
Messiah.
Yeah, he's trying to tie you in all of that stuff that we weren't asked or told to do. You know, this is the new day. We are in that present kingdom age right now, and that does not entail anything doing any water baptism and all that stuff. If you know that you're Yahweh, then I don't need to go through all that. You know, my job is to get you to understand, see, and know who you are. And you don't have to get water baptized to get that. The baptism now is the baptism of the Holy Spirit, and that's through the foolishness of the preaching of the gospel.
Yep.
I kind of shocked you before, Jonathan. I asked him, did he know who the president was? He said something he didn't know at that time when when he was on our class. So I asked him. I said, I have a classmate that was down there, and he and I never got together because it was like two different camps, and all of the bad news about us was being given by them, not to come to Pasadena and Glenn's this and that and that. So he and I never had breakfast or lunch or anything together, but we were friends when we were children. So I asked him, I said, well, who's the new president down there? He told me, he said, his name is Porsche. I said, that's the man that I told you before. That's his son. And I told you that he was president before. But everybody said, no, he was not the president. But now, he was shocked that I knew my way around down there, period.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, my uncle, if you would ever hear my uncle give his, like a few hours, my uncle goes into the details about a lot of things. But his whole kind of introduction into class and how he came into class and his mind state with around people and stuff, and there was a picnic he went to in LA, and I guess everybody was treating Dr. Harris like he had a halo, and like you couldn't touch him with you couldn't go near him. It was just too holy to even approach. And my uncle went up and approached him, and ended up sitting on a bench and having a conversation with him. And he said all the people were like wide-eyed, like how does he get to go sit next to Harris, and all this. And that's yeah, I know, right? But that's kind of how he got. That's how he got his relationship started in the class. You know, once you kind of grease shoulders or elbows with somebody, then everybody trying to grease their elbows through your elbows.
Right.
And so, but my uncle was, how would I put it? He was with Dr. Harris in the same way I see people fascinated with Glenn Kinley. Being that he was the one person he saw that nobody could really come up in the class and challenge. Really, because he didn't get to witness people that actually could challenge him and put him on his face. So to him, Dr. Harris was like the guy that could put everybody on their face in the doctrine. And that's how, I mean, I remember one time watching, one of my first times watching Classic, he was like, look, you see that 90, he's 90 years old, you see him walking on a cane, now watch when he gets on that floor and watch how he is and how lively he is. And, I mean, I've heard people say that was, you know, this stuff. And it's just, yeah, but through all that, you know, Aaron Bryant, that's how it comes first of all. Yep. Yeah. So for him to know that you know those people in the inner circles and all of that, it's like, oh, you know. But yeah.
Well, anyway, tell us what's new with your talking groups.
Oh, last night was, or yesterday, can't even say last night. It was beautiful. I was on one call with a group of people, and I was going over them with them about there being no sin. There being no sin in this age. And they were contending. And then the room moderator asked me, is there someone else you can get in here that teaches the same as you do? Because what you're saying is so foreign, it's so outlandish, it seems like you're the only person in the world that believes it. And I was like, they were like, preferably today, like right now, if you can get someone on. And I was like, I'll try, give me a moment. And so the first person I called was Jan. Jan was in bed. It was like 3 o'clock. That's how he was resting. The way he put it, he was like, I was at my comfortable moment. And my brother called me and said, before I got up. But I got him on the group, and then Teresa was in the background for a while. Then Teresa got on, but Jan got on, and we went with those people for 7 hours. I mean, the joy I could hear in Jan's voice getting to like profess to people who aren't from class, who are really pushing, really pushing us to make us use all that we have learned for years and put the tools we have developed to the youth. And then Teresa got on, and Teresa was all like, but Jan was like the room moderator. Even he permanently muted a few people who came in and tried to be bad actors, because he was like, no, this is a really good conversation happening. But no, it was great. So we went from 12 o'clock my time to 7:30 my time. So it was like 10:30 Jan's time. He went from 3:30 to 3 o'clock to 10:30, and then we were talking about how about 2.5 hours after that, and Brittany and Teresa got to talk and got to know each other a little bit. Brittany was trying to text you last night, Shelly. Just so you know. But yeah, no, it was great. It was great.
Very good, very good, very good.
It was great. It was like it was cool too because I'm used to having like, you know, these groups of like 12, 15, 30 people jumping on me. Like I'm having to answer like 10 different people all at once, keeping the continuity of thought between 10 different questions and rolling through it. And here come my fellow warriors, you know, on the phone and like one person, they're gonna press one person and another person. One of us popping up like this Bible verse, this, like no escaping. Who are the Christians? Were like, man, why y'all three of us jumping on it? Like, we can do about that. Oh, great.
Very good, very good. As you know, that's why you when you look around, there's people that know nothing about this gospel, like the founder said, should be here, and some of us should be out there.
Right.
It was to the point. It was to the point where Jan had assumed because of how versed the people were that they were Christians. He thought he was in a Christian room, and afterwards I had to tell him, I was like, bro, the reason some of the responses were coming up was because only one person you were talking to was actually a professed Christian. I was like, yeah, like the rest just, they had enough knowledge to press, you know, to actually push and actually ask the right questions. And then a couple of them, of course, they've already encountered me and going over it, and it was funny how many times they were telling me, we've already gone over this with Yahweh as King, and it's funny because they'll say my name is short, they'll say Yahweh, we've already gone over this with Yahweh, and I'm sitting in the back thinking, this is funny stuff right here.
Right.
And then they'll be like, there was a couple times they were trying to tell Jan that I was saying something contrary to him, the way he was now saying, and I'm in the back thinking, I ain't even got to speak up, my brother knows we in tune. And then it got to a point they kept trying to say, oh, you got this disagreement, and I spoke up and I was like, hold up, I only got to say one phrase to my brother, he'll know exactly what I was saying to you. And I told him the one phrase, I said, Jan, I was explaining to them how the adultery isn't sin in this age. He goes, yep, that's right. that brought the reconciliation right, but they were like, oh wait, they don't disagree. And so then it got to a point where a couple of them were like, well, we know a lot of this that the Yahweh is King shares. They said, but we want to know, because Yahweh is King, says he's Yahweh and everybody's Yahweh. Did you also say that you're Yahweh and everybody's Yahweh? Yahweh is, and I am Yahweh. So are you? They were like, so it's funny because the one girl that was pressed in Jan, she kept going, she goes, I just can't be the creator. There's no way I'm the creator.
Oh
no
my
way.
gosh.
I'm Yahweh himself. And Teresa goes, it's funny, the way we were talking, you know what's funny? It's funny how these people out in the world, at the end of the day, when it comes to talking about the same problem, people yep. Now you know I call it Christianity 2.0.
Hey,
you know,
Jonathan, what's that scripture that says, no weapons, what is it, how is it, no weapons formed against me?
Shall prosper. Is that I think that's a song.
Right. That's, yeah. Read that scripture. Not scripture, but the whole chapter of that.
Mm-hmm.
What is the chapter? Hello, everybody.
Hey.
It's Isaiah 54.
Isaiah. Okay, so what school were you talking with?
We weren't talking with a school. We were talking with those groups that I gather sometimes with online, and I talk to about the scripture and other topics. And we were in a discussion. Well, I was in a discussion with them for part of the morning, and it got to a point where they asked me if I could bring on someone else that professes the same thing I do.
I heard that part of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I didn't want you to repeat all of it because I did come in on some of it. Okay, go ahead with your Isaiah.
Okay. Isaiah 54.
Okay.
Sing, O barren, thou that didst not bear, break forth into singing, and cry aloud, thou that didst not travel with child. For more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married wife. saith Yahweh. Enlarge the place of thy tent, and let them stretch forth the curtains of thine habitations. Spare not, lengthen thy cords, and strengthen thy stakes. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left, and thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles, and make desolate cities to be inhabited. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be thou confounded. For thou shalt be put to shame, for thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth. For thou shalt not remember the reproach of thy widowhood any more. For thy Maker is thine husband, Yahweh of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, Elohim of the whole earth, shall he be called. For Yahweh hath called thee, as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth, when thou hast refused, saith thy Elohim. For a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee. In a little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith Yahweh thy Redeemer. For this is as the waters of Noah unto me. For as I have sworn that the waters of Noah should no more go over the earth, so have I sworn that I would not be wroth with thee, nor rebuke thee. For the mountains shall depart, and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from thee, neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed, saith Yahweh, that hath mercy on thee. O thou afflicted, tossed with tempest, and not comforted, behold, I will lay thy stones with fair colors, and lay thy foundations with sapphires. And I will make thy windows of agate, and thy gates of carbuncles, and all thy borders of pleasant stones. And all thy children shall be taught of Yahweh, and great shall be the peace of thy children. In righteousness shalt thou be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression, for thou shalt not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near thee. Behold, they surely shall gather together, but not by me. Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the water to destroy. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and the righteousness of me, saith Yahweh. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah. That's part of that was raining on my mind all this week, and it reminded me as you're reading it now, and those things were being said to them, and then now we are free, that we're not in bondage to satanic doctrine. We can defend ourselves, and we know where we come from. We know who we are. And as it reminded me when it said the part where no weapons that you could form, because if Yahweh's all in all, what of him would you take to harm me? It can't be done. And we know that the only way people can deceive somebody is with part of the truth when they tell them lies. But the man that knows Yahweh can see right through that.
One part I centered in on, you just said that, because it's the things that are said in this scripture here are the things that Yahweh is talking about that he will do, he now has done, and we are in the done state, right? And so this part here where it says, in a little, for a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great measures will I gather thee. In a little wrath I hid my face for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith Yahweh thy Redeemer. And that mercy is his revelation to us now, for us to know what we know now.
Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know, but it's funny that every time, you hear Christians saying that a lot, and they're always, their mindset is always on something physical. Oh,
Yeah.
no weapons used for, but a lie can be exposed. You know what I'm saying? Or
Mhm.
if you think that somebody's going to harm you physically, Yahweh has a way, like Dad would say, he'd make that statement, you can pull a gun on him and I'll make it backfire.
Mhm.
And that used to just tickle me to death because I could just see that being done.
I remember him saying, "You're the light of the world. You ain't been brought in to be shot in the face."
Right.
Right. You haven't suffered those things they suffered. Yeah. Mhm.
You haven't. That's not why you've come in. That's not why Yahweh bestowed upon you this great gospel. It ain't for you to be shot in the face.
No, and he was the one. He said, and I always say it now to people that tell me that they're scared to get on the plane. I say, well, then you ought to get on there when I get on there, because that would be the safest one, because I ain't going out like that.
Hey,
Mhm.
Jan got on the. This is what's funny. On my way to Ohio, when I was getting on the plane, right? Because
Right.
when you walk in that path, that one be trying to really say some negative stuff, try to always trying to make you fear you standing against, right? And it
Mhm.
was like, oh, watch this. What I was hearing, watch you go down. Watch that plane go down with you in it, showing that you falling down too, right? And then that thought of, oh, that won't happen because other people on the plane. And then loud and clear I hear, nah, it ain't gonna go down because I'm on the plane.
Right.
and
That's
then
right.
and then tell me why right after Ohio and all that, I think like a month went by or something, and Jan was on the floor, and he was talking about how he was a bit hesitant about going on a plane, and then he remembered how his father taught him that if you going on a plane, that plane's going to be the safest passage you're going to take because you on that plane, and that's Yahweh on that plane. And I was like, well, look at that.
Mhm.
It was like,
Yep, I
yeah.
say it all the time. It's like, no, you afraid? Then you need to get on when I get on. 'Cause I'm not going out like that. Train, plane, boat, And I know he would say, I remember one time he said something about, that was when he didn't want to go into the Navy. And because he said, that's a little bit too much water for me. But he could swim. But I just, I thought about that, and I said, man, I like taking cruises, but I can't swim, like how people swim for entertainment. I can swim underwater, but I don't swim to have fun. But I say one of these days before I leave here, I'm gonna get me some swim lessons. Mhm. So I can float. That's what I don't know how to do. Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, I think sometimes our struggle here is to not get caught up in the worldly stuff, and it can be so easy, if you allow yourself to dwell on whatever is happening. But
Mhm.
I keep my guard up because I'm in the world, but I'm not of it. I'm not of any of that stuff happening, and I'm not worried about them taking away medical, taking away whatever they take away. I'm not worried about being affected by it that way,
Mhm.
because um, as they say, look toward Yahweh. You don't have to worry about all that stuff. That's like hell scaring somebody. For what? and the same with the doctrine. But I don't think they're even, if you don't know who you are and you don't believe that you're Yahweh, you can't hell scare nobody nowhere, because you're in the same place they are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Mm.
Anybody else got a scripture?
You know what you just got through saying. I've been I've been recognizing that it comes to pass without you paying attention. I noticed it in New Orleans, and I noticed it here recently. Uh, like if I got to go outside and the weather's bad, I said, "Whoa, Yahweh! I know that the farmers need the water. That a lot of other people need the water. I just don't want to get all wet today. Is there a chance that I could ease
Right.
in and ease out? And boy, when I get ready to step outside, it starts drizzling and it stops. I said, oh,
Yes. But look,
happened in New
now,
Orleans.
yeah, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it happened in New Orleans. I mean, every time we left from one place to another, we sitting in a restaurant, it's just pouring down. I said, oh, gee, I don't have no rubber shoes. And I said, I need some help here. I got to
Right.
get out of here. I don't want my feet to be wet. And all of a sudden, I go outside, and it's down to 1 drop, 2 drops, no drops. I said, oh, gee. Happens constantly.
Look, the other day, the guy had warned me that it was going to be raining. And then, so I actually, Yahweh held that rain until we got home. And then after we got into bed, I heard this storm where it was just coming down like, crazy. Things was banging up against the house and everything rocking because the wind and the rain was raining. And it rained all day the next day. But then I had to get up Friday and go back to L.A., and man, it was raining so hard. But you know what? I just said, just thank you, Yahweh, for taking care and watching over all of us. You know, and I mean, it was raining so hard you couldn't even see the front end of your own car. And then the traffic kind of slowed down, but it was like everybody was moving along with caution. And then when I got ready to come back home, when I got to LA, it didn't rain there. But on my way back, it had started raining through one segment. And then I realized it was Friday because I had forgot it was Friday, and I kept saying, "What the heck is this traffic?" I said, "This is like Friday traffic," and Yahweh said, "Yeah, it is. It's Friday." and so I just calmed down because I already knew what Friday traffic is coming up this way, with the trucks and everything. And we got out of that, and I got home safe, and I was just grateful, that we got through it, and I didn't run into, somebody else having a major accident, even though they had one on my way down, and it looked like whoever hit the car, it turned it around and drove, kind of rammed it up into the mountainside, and the car was crunched up like you crunch up a bag, but I didn't see it must have happened earlier, because by the time we got up on it, there was no ambulance or anything there. But I was just hoping, well, Yahweh will be done, whatever it is done now, and the traffic was moving right along. But those are times when, like you say, Renard, we we can ask in these bodies, and
And he gives it.
watches over us and takes care of us and fixes it. You know, I mean,
Right, that's
and we ask, but He's already done it. He just
Right.
wants you to ask for your own confirmation.
That's
you know?
right. That's right.
And so,
Yeah, I think that one of the things that Jonathan was saying about the people being astonished, a lot of, when you talk to a person that has not been in the class, if you tell them something like they're Yahweh, they think about all of the so-called sinful things that they have participated in, or done.
right?
And they say, oh, I can't be. That's what the problem is. They just feel that that's impossible. They haven't gotten no one have given them a word that they already saved.
Right.
And that was exactly the thing. Because they kept, different ones kept saying, even ones who weren't Christian, oh, we're fallen. We don't have a state perfect as his. We can't be him because these things we do, and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And that's why the conversation was originally, there being no sin in the state. And of course, it went 7 hours, a whole lot more.
Yep.
Shelley, you were asking about the scriptures, right?
Huh?
Okay. Well, everywhere you were asking for someone with the scriptures, and everywhere I have looked, and every page I turned to, even if I saw it in something, it was all in the book of Psalms, and everybody is caroling and singing songs of, Anyway, so I've had my opportunity. So while mine right now is I turned to the book and it came upon Psalms the 62nd. So if anyone else other than me have any other the Psalms, I would like you to read your own to see what it is, what it says to you, your song to Yahweh. Our song to Yahweh is that we are Yahweh and we know it, and that, and He's there and protecting us. And mine here is Psalm 62. It's a confession of trusting, Yahweh. And so, in the meantime, you guys think of one for you, because I'm going to read this one, and then I'm opening the floor to you. Okay?
Okay.
Is that possible?
It's possible.
All right.
Make it possible.
Okay, read on, Rita.
Okay, Psalm 62, it says, truly my soul waiteth upon Yahweh, for Him cometh my salvation. And we've already been given that. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of you. As a bowing wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Selah. My soul wait thou only upon Yahweh, for my expectation is from Him. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. In Yahweh my salvation and my glory, the rock of my strength and my refuge is in Yahweh. Trust Him at all times, ye people. Pour out your heart before Him. Yahweh is a refuge for us, Selah. Surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie. To be laid in the balance, they are altogether lighter than vanity. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. And if riches increase, set not your heart upon them. Yahweh has spoken once. Twice have I heard this, that power belongeth unto Yahweh. Also unto thee, O Creator, O Yahweh, belongs mercy, and for thy renderance to every man according to his work.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next?
So what is the salient point, Rita, that you got out of that?
I got out of that you know that Yahweh's all in all. He's there. He's my protector. He's given me the strength to know who I am.
Right.
And he's there with me. If I need him, he guides me, he leads me, and he gives me the words and the strength that's necessary.
Right.
And he opens, you know, because they were all talking about this is Yahweh, the birth and all that. And I had an opportunity to tell a room full of people he was not born in December. That is not him. I said, this is a celebration that you guys have decided upon, you know? And I said, that's him. And I trust him. Whatever happens has happened because this is where that person's journey was. And you know, each one of us have a gift.
Yeah.
Right.
And Yahweh has given us all a wonderful gift. And not like that. I love that. Anyway.
You always ponder on. He says. I asked him one time. I says, the person that brought me to class was a very nice person, although that for something my brain didn't click when he first asked me, because stupidly, you know, I thought that we was not in the same level, not level as far as growth or wealth or whatever. But I mean, we wasn't like Pete, you know, we were the person that I would hang around with because we had different things that we wanted to do. And I told Glenn, I says, I can't find the guy. I says, and I don't know where he is, and I'm divorced from the woman and all this other stuff. And so he says, you ever thought that Yahweh was after you and not him?
Right.
But I mean, if I did think that, I would have been beating myself up, because I would have felt as though that would make you think that you're better than he is. It don't go by the better. It goes by who he have brought before you, which is himself. Right. It's himself coming before you, because he touched you on your shoulder saying, this is who I want.
Yes.
The other person wasn't who he was. He was Yahweh in the body.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. And that's a lot of things that, you know, I used to tease my wife all the time. I tell her, she says, dear, I said, you're not paying attention. I says, you keep saying things like Lamb of God that took away the sins of the world in your church, but yet you keep imagining that because the man told you that you are in sin. Well, which one is it? Do you take the sins away, or are you sinning? Right.
The first thing they say is that you're a sinner.
Right.
And that,
right.
and I say, no, I'm not. Oh boy, and do their face light up. And then they turn around and they look at my Star of David that I have on and say, oh, well, then you're Jewish. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Right.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why I wear this, and I can explain it to you. Yeah, but anyhow, I told my grandson today that that's who he is. I said, right. I'm telling you from the beginning who you are. You are Yahweh. Remember right. that. And that's it. And then from there, if you want to ask me, I can show you from there on down, because most kids don't want no more than 5 seconds of your time anyway. Yep. And they're out. So, anyway.
No, I had that problem with a lot of people. They kept trying to tell me what Christmas is here. Christmas, I said, great. Whose birthday is it?
Right.
I said, right. What did you buy, Jesus? Have you given him his gift? Or are you trying to steal his gift?
Right. See what is the more up-to-date Christian. And you'll see a good portion of the biggest pastors out there right now, they profess that, he wasn't born in December. He was born in the springtime. And they've created a whole doctrine now where they said, but we've said it day where we are celebrating his birth, knowing that he wasn't born that day, and we're celebrating the unity and all, just a whole thing to excuse just putting up a tree and keeping the tradition going. But yeah, no, they openly admit now that yeah, he wasn't born December 25th. He was born in the springtime, but this is the day we're going to celebrate it. It's like, huh?
Right. It's funny because my mom said, calls me on Christmas. Oh, well, did you have Amelia? Does she know it's Christmas? I said, no. I said, and why would you think that I would indoctrinate her in that? I said, Amelia gets something every month and almost every week. I said, and she's not lacking anything. I said,
Right.
She got more toys and clothes and everything else than most kids may not ever get in a lifetime. I said, now, and you knew I didn't raise Jan and Zenon that way. I said, but now, I didn't stop you guys from giving them gifts, but they knew the difference. You know, they knew. I said, why should I tell my kid, give all the credit to some white man with a long beard and all that it never is around? Let them have the glory to say that he bought anything. Everything I've sacrificed for and bought, I want them to know where it came from.
Shame on you, Shelley. He's bringing gifts onto you, Shelley. You have to pay him for them gifts, so stop it.
Well,
Shelley, shame on you.
Look, and that's what I told her. No, he gives no credit here. No.
Let alone Yahweh was pretty explicit about that tree.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Talk about how they brought it out, how they brought it into their house.
Yeah, Jeremiah 10.
Yeah.
And that's all the way back to the garden where the axe had been laid to the root, right?
Yeah, Jeremiah 10, huh? All right.
And instead of leaving it out there and using it for fire to warm you up, you're gonna bring it inside.
I was listening to Glenn's tape, and I was shocked because I had never understood it that way. The axe was laid to the tree. He's talking about the tree in the garden. The tree in the garden. The axe was laid to that tree. I was shocked. I thought it was some other tree.
Yeah. The axe was laid to the root.
I thought it was a tree or some other tree that he laid it to, but it was. He said that tree is down. Laid the axe to the root.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's where they got that from. And I remember one time, and I don't know, I was young and being silly too, but I laughed about it because I couldn't believe that Dale didn't know when you read the scripture, who was that in thou red apparel? And I was like, Adam. You know, that's why they, the so-called Saint Nick is wearing red. You know, because Adam was the one, you know, that red man coming down out of, from the garden. And as they say, red apparel. But yeah, that was Adam, and I said, Satan found a way to always to pervert something, to pervert everything he can that Yahweh has done in righteousness or by the will of Him, And but yeah, I was laughing. I was like, now you come to class, every class. How the hell you not know that was Adam? But hey, you don't know till Yahweh show you. But like I said, we were young, and we could be like kids. We can be rude.
Yeah. One of the tapes again, and this happened not too long ago. I mean, took the covers off of it. He said now. Remember, Yahweh's all in all, and we forget about that. So when we say Yahweh, Elohim, and you think that it was something else, but not. It was a configuration. I'm still saying, but not. Not Yahweh move. He said that was Yahweh in the body. That was the word. He said our son. He said Yahweh Elohim was the Son, and Adam was the Holy Spirit. I said, whoa, yeah. Everybody looking at the Messiah being the Holy
Right.
Spirit. They find Adam to be something else. Oh, gee.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, if you gonna say Joshua down on his end was the Holy Spirit, Adam had to be the Holy Spirit.
And what makes it, this how deep the covers, he was peeling them off. He says, now, you look at John the Baptist, you don't give him credit. He was the same as, he came in the same way that the Messiah came in. The angel was buried.
Yes.
The only thing that his father knew his mother, but it wasn't about that. He said that angel told him what was going to happen. What the name was, told him all the stuff, and said the thing is that John the Baptist was the one that was the forebear, pointing the way that the Messiah was coming.
Right.
The one that was going to take sins away, bring you back into the fold, bring you back into Yahweh's fold.
Yeah.
I said, brother, yep. And the people in the class, the way they preach, a lot of times they don't see that. They're busy wrestling with the devil all the way down. And he said, the devil's not here.
Right.
The devil is not here.
Yes.
He said that if you want a devil, you have to create one. Right.
And hope you can handle it.
Yeah. He said you can't handle it. He said most of you are not smart enough to handle the devil, because the devil knew who Yahweh was and loved him, but he would not be obedient. And you're dealing out of hate. There's a difference between hate and just not understanding who you're dealing with.
Yeah. You guys got a question? What is the significance of 144,000? I was trying to look at and see if that was in the Elohim book, or maybe I missed it.
12 tribes of Israel, 12,000 men counted a tribe at Mount Sinai before they crossed into Canaan's land. 144,000 able-bodied men. John seeing it in Revelation is, remember, he's receiving the vision in Revelation, and so he's seeing Genesis and the Exodus in that vision. He's just, the way John describes it all is in like a spiritual manner. It's spiritually worded.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that way, Jonathan, because I had conflictions in my mind about 144,000 when almost 1 million of them came out of Egypt, and and Glenn said it like this. He said now the people that were in the wilderness that helped build the ark, he said they wasn't lost. He said only those that opposed what Yahweh had given them and told them to do was lost. Like, if those on Korah and the other man's side, get on his side, all those on Yahweh's side, get on this side, and those grounds swallowed them up. Now, those were lost. Those that had to drink that gold from the golden calf, they were lost. We say all those that helped build the ark and do this, that, and other, they were not lost. Well, I'm not saying they were alive. They were all of them were alive when they got to cross over. But he said that they were not lost. I said, brother. So it means that more than just 144,000 came across, but those were the, like you say, able-bodied men that came across. But he said, what about the women and the children? The women were able-bodied. The children were able-bodied. Yeah.
It's funny too when that able-bodied men, for a long time when you read that, you just think, young strapping men, strong, in that youthful time, and it's 144,000 men likened unto Abel. How Abel offered a righteous sacrifice. Yahweh was written on Abel's forehead. And just like those 144,000 men that crossed into the promised land, And that's the other significance. They were the ones, the men that crossed into the promised land. They had Yahweh on their mind. That was an interesting one to understand. That's really what it meant for them to be able. Why it specifies able-bodied.
And you notice just from the character of man, everybody has adopted something, because you have those Asians, they wear those hats and those things tied around their head, and the women the scarves, and the clothing. It's not just confined to one nation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has adapted something from that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think about those that went into Canaan's land to survey the land, and came back and gave those erroneous reports. they were not considered able-bodied.
Right, which landed them 40 years.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You look at that, even though that cycle, 40 years, but when it was only supposed to be 40 days, and we talk about the 40 weeks, with the child and all of that, how that son is, going through that track and give birth to the kid and, comes forth.
They surveyed the land for 40 days, right? Joshua and Caleb and the other two that brought a bad report, or the three that brought a bad report. How long were they in Canaan's land when they surveyed the land before they came back and gave the report? It was 40 days, right?
I don't know.
No, I don't recall. Because when they left Egypt, it was just supposed to be a 40-day track of them leaving Egypt and going on into the land flowing with milk and honey. But we all know that is not what happened. They ended up, because of that lie, going through those 40 years and wandering around in the wilderness, which we oftentimes correlate that with that child being in that womb. Is eating and crying and complaining and bumping and doing all kind of stuff till it's time to be released, and that's what they did. They was down there crying and griping and until until Moses let the ground open up and close back up, and then they was through with that. They went on and did what they had to do. But they still.
That's where I was trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out those 40 days again, because of the last discussion we were having about the 3 treks and him being up in the mount for 40 days. And then it's like, well, how many days were they traveling the wilderness? Because that's what I thought. That's what I've always understood. The 40 days in the wilderness of sojourning, because of they took the bad report to the good report. Those 40 days became 40 years now they had to stay in the wilderness. But if they're at the mount and Moses goes up for 40 days and then another 40 days, and then they have all the journeying they're doing, like the 6 days of preparing before they were stood ready at the mount, like you'd have like 90-something days before.
Well, didn't you say it was 7 days? Well,
yeah.
the first time he goes up there, and he comes.
The first trip 7 or 6,
and he goes to get the law.
Yeah, and that's that first trip, and then the second trip, the other 33, making a total of 40. That would fit in, but it's I don't know, because then there's more days of building the tabernacle, because they've built the tabernacle before they're about to go into Canaan's land.
Right, but see, They got to the Red Sea, and what did they do?
I'm curious because
I'm just saying they got to that sea. They were griping and complaining, and all the way down. But but there were repercussions for all of that. You know, they got there, and what was it? They was Yahweh opened. I mean, they went through the Red Sea, and then where's the issue with the water, and smelting the rock, and just all kind of drama all the way down. You know, I mean, and they wandered around for them 40 years, and that was when all that stuff happened within them 40 years.
I think when I at the beginning of our class, at my coming to class, when they talked about the 40 days, and someone had described, Glenn may have said that, I can't remember, but someone brought it up that usually, and he caused them to miss the boat, that a man cannot survive 40 days without eating and sleeping, without eating.
Right.
And Moses didn't take he didn't take a lunch basket with him. So for him to be there in 40 days, it tells you automatically that he was not who you think he was when he was up there. He had become one with Yahweh. So your life expectancy exists after 30 days, 31, 33 days. You're supposed to not be able to go any further without eating. Yeah.
Is it not a matter of going back in the scripture and reading and seeing it?
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to find the specification because I mean the 40 days could be Moses' 40 days. That divine hope, that time frame that they were carrying, that being through 40 that was counted, because the way it's almost written is like they were in the wilderness for more than 40 days before they got the 40-year curse. Yes, it is. And your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years, and bear your whoredoms until your carcasses be wasted in the wilderness. And the number of the days in which ye searched the land, even 40 days, each day for a year shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and it shall know my breach, and ye shall know my breach of promise.
So it was really only supposed to be 40 days.
Right.
And they got 40 years.
Okay.
Well, at the time they searched the land, they weren't searching the wilderness. That's what I'm thinking.
No, they were searching the land for them 40 days.
Yeah.
Right? And then because they lied.
Yes.
Then they got the 40 years.
And which chapter did you find that in, Jonathan?
I was in Numbers 14. I'm like,
okay.
13. Because I remember Numbers 13, 16 is where Moses renamed Oshia Joshua, and that was right before they go search out the land. And so I remembered it was there to start trying to go from there.
Okay.
I was trying to find where they say how long they were searching in the land. Yeah, here it goes. Numbers 13, 20, starting at 24, and then 25. The place was called the brook Iskal because of the cluster of grapes which the children of Israel cut down from thence. And they returned from searching of the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moses and to Aaron. that clears up so much from what I was trying to mull over. Yes, the 40-year curse comes from the 40 days they were searching out Canaan's land and gave report. There we go.
Yeah.
Like I kept saying, how could it be the 40?
Look, I know it was there, and I knew originally that it was only, like you're only supposed to do that 40-day thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And had they been obedient, they'd have been on over into the land. But Yahweh already knew it was already forethought that. But when they came back with that lie, okay, 40 years now. I mean, and that's you talk about some punishment, some repercussions. When you're a kid, shit, you thought a month was bad. 40 years, okay, you can't go to the movies or can't do blah 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 for the next month, man.
Yeah, it's something to think about how every adult that came out of Egypt perished. And that's to show you that
they all died except for 3.
Yep,
there
that
were only 3. Yeah, the only 3 that came out of Egypt that went over into the new land. All the rest died there in the wilderness. And that was Joshua, Caleb, and who was the other one?
Couldn't think of the third.
Was it one of Aaron's sons or no?
Okay.
Yeah, it was only Joshua and Caleb I know, but I don't right
Both
now
of Aaron's
recall
sons
the other one. But I know it was only 3.
Both of Aaron's sons were killed, wasn't
they? Aaron's
2 of them, yeah. I don't know if he had more, but I thought it was I don't know. It was there's another one. I don't remember. Well, I know Caleb was the one that came back with the true report. When they went over there, he wasn't part of that lie, so he actually was able to go. And Joshua, so who's the other one? Because Moses died and Aaron was killed too before that time. Does it say the other one, Jonathan, there?
It says, every Israelite over 20 years of age which left Egypt under Moses was dead, except for 3 people, Moses, Joshua, and Caleb.
Oh, no, but no. Moses died. Moses didn't go over that way. There was another one.
No, I know. Moses didn't cross over in Canaan's land. He died before going over.
Was it Eleazar?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking at first, but I thought it was of the 3 that gave of the 12 that gave the bad report, the 3 that gave good report.
Yeah. Well, Caleb was one of those, and then there's Joshua, but I don't recall the other name.
You said the third was Eleazar, Gary?
Right. Yeah, because he wouldn't give a false report. He went with Joshua and was it Joshua?
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
But now whose son was that?
Like Numbers 14.
Huh?
That should be right there in Numbers 14. It should go over
right.
that.
And who was his father?
Let me see. Oh, I don't know where his genealogy. I think that would be what a few chapters back. Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were first one all the children.
Yeah, and that Nun was None, not Nun. That would say.
Well, see that, and that's one that I've wondered about for a moment, because I heard Glenn on tape before say that he did have an earthly genealogy, but it was left out because that's
not Joshua.
Yeah, Joshua.
No, he did.
I
not.
know. That's
No, who did not have one was that king who was king and high priest. He didn't. It wasn't. He had one, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't like you just said. It was left out.
Say Melchizedek. See,
Yes.
see, that's how and that's the example he gave. Now you're reminding me. He said just like Melchizedek, he had one too, but it was left out because that's not who that is walking around. It ain't some son.
Okay, but I
some
do know
man.
that Joshua just appeared down there in Egypt at the age of 30. And also when he appeared down there, he projected to Pharaoh, Moses' brother, and Moses all at the same time. Moses was at the burning bush. His brother was getting the message to go meet him, and Pharaoh knew Yahweh had revealed it, as Renard would say, your kingdom's coming down. He knew when he got down there. Yeah, but Yahweh had sent a vision to all three simultaneously.
So I know that.
But see, I'm saying when I say Yahshua just appeared at the age of 30, he had just appeared down there just like he just appeared in the garden.
Long time ago, Shelley, I remembered Glenn, but I don't remember the scripture. And I could have swore that Glenn had told us that Yahshua's son Nun had parents.
Yeah, Yahshua did die.
No,
But,
not to die.
But I'm saying when he was on the scene, he just appeared down there, and that's why he said it wasn't N-U-N, which is like we say to nuns in the Catholic Church. He said it was N-O-N-E, none. He didn't have no genealogy.
Well, that's the thing. See where I can reconcile both things is that the N-U-N, as we know it, N-O-N-E, we know exactly, we know it by divine understanding that it's N-O-N-E. Now there is a nun that came out of Egypt with it that's from the tribe of Ephraim, and from what I understand is, it was explained that Moses gave Joshua the genealogy of being from that nun, but that was not his biological, that was not his father. But that right there, that Joshua the son of Nun is ascribed to being of the tribe of Ephraim, and that's how I understand how you already showed the
Okay, and just like you say that, Joshua also was coming from the tribe of Judah, which is what David, right?
Yeah, and Ezekiel prophesied that the two rods, the rod of Ephraim and the rod of Judah, would become one, and that is Joshua coming through the loins of the Virgin as the Messiah, bringing that law, the law and the prophets and the fulfillment, and making it that one rod.
Well, I'm saying just like Joshua was manifested in the womb of that virgin without any so-called like man and woman hanky-panky. So more or less, though he came through we're saying the loins of a woman, he's got to fulfill that same as with Adam too. That's why he said coming in the third millennium, he had to just appear down there in Egypt like he did in the garden.
And that's how I'd understand coming. It was immaculate. Like if it was that way, then it would have. The only way it could fit the pattern is that it would have been immaculate conception, and he picked up his ministry at 30, and that's when he projected himself right away. It was
exactly.
like that's how you could say he just appeared, because at the age of 30, that one that was born of immaculate conception named Oshia the son of Nun, just boom, Elohim took over and projected himself through three men at once and started his ministry.
And Joseph was not his father.
And you could even see that by when he picked up his ministry at 30, he went to John the Baptist, and that voice from heaven appeared and spoke. And projected himself. He projected himself to John.
Could touch him.
Yeah, he projected himself to John. Yep.
Yeah, they, as they say, they were the same. They were both of immaculate conception.
Yep.
They both leaped in the womb and bore witness to each other.
And that's why just like the people around were like, ain't you just Mary and Joseph's son? Because they didn't see nothing special. They was just a regular little boy helping his daddy, working in the temple till he was 30 years old, and all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah. And they didn't have any more children. Had no desire to. But yeah, no, that's how it is. That's how it all fits together. Because we don't want to leave out the fact that it's Adam on the scene, and yet that second Adam is fulfilling it all. And that's why he said, I will come in that third millennium and that fourth. I will visit you between the third and the fourth day. That's that third and fourth millennium, where he's there with Moses, and then he's the institute and the fulfillment on that fourth day.
What? That's him. It's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from what I'm reading, by the way, it's only Caleb and Joshua. It isn't anybody else.
No, there was 3.
It says right here, say unto them, as truly as I live, saith Yahweh, as ye have spoken in mine ear, so will I do to you. Your carcasses shall fall in the wilderness, and all that were numbered of you according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me, doubtless ye shall not come into the land, concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua the son of Nun. But your little ones which ye said should be a prey, them will I bring in, and they shall know the land which ye have despised. But as for you, your carcasses shall fall in the wilderness, and your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years, and bear your whoredoms, until your carcasses be wasted in the wilderness.
Okay, well. Okay.
And then more of it says, even those men that did bring up the evil report upon the land died by the plague before Yahweh. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of the men that went to search the land, lived still. And Moses told these things unto all the children of Israel, and the people mourned greatly.
So what happened to Eleazar?
Nothing there.
Yeah, so I thought he was went over with Caleb and Joshua to spy out the land before.
Well, I was sure it was 3, but he's not reading it there. I'm not going to argue with that. But I was sure it would be 3 instead of 2.
Well, maybe it's because Eleazar doesn't count in that, because he was a young child. That's the second high priest, right? Yeah, Eleazar is the second high priest. So he's the one that took over, because Aaron died in the wilderness, but Eleazar was the high priest that went over. But he would have been a child that counted under 20 years old. So everyone over 20, except for Caleb and Joshua the son of Nun, went into Canaan's land. That's why only those 2 names are popping up in my mind.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll just like I said, I've always had in my mind, or in my head, there was 3. I just didn't know who the other one, but I knew for sure Caleb was one, because Joshua was the salvation, and Caleb means faith, and and that I don't remember the other name, so I won't say.
It says all of the spies except for Joshua and Caleb were hit with a plague. They were hit with a plague too. Dang.
Okay, well, who was the three that had interaction with Rahab before the walls of Jericho? Yahweh destroyed Jericho in those 7 days. It was I thought it was three men that went to her house and told her that if she would not report that they were in the camp, then they would save her by having her put a red sash outside her window.
Wasn't that when they were in Canaan's land?
Yeah, I guess before Yahweh destroyed Jericho.
Yeah, it was one of those other cities. Wasn't it? Wasn't it one of the other cities, or or was it Jericho? It was the wall of Jericho.
Yeah, I'm looking at Joshua's 2nd chapter.
Yeah, where the spy it wouldn't be Jericho if it's 2nd chapter then. But no, when the spies climbed the wall of the town and the harlot that was in her chamber and she hid them and saved them.
Yeah. Let's see, Joshua's 2nd chapter, 3rd verse, and the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, bring forth the men that are come to thee, which enter into thy house, for they become to search out all the country. Listen to that full chapter. And the woman took the two men. Okay, there we go. It wasn't three. Took the two men and hid them.
and here's what's funny. Caleb was from the tribe of Judah. So there you got that Judah and Ephraim right there too.
Mm-hmm.
Because here I pulled up the list of their names. It's in Numbers 13. And Moses, by the commandment of Yahweh, sent them from the wilderness of Paran. All the men were the heads of the children of Israel, and these were their names. The tribe of Reuben, Shamuma, the son of Zakur. Of the tribe of Simeon, Shaphat, the son of Hori. Of the tribe of Judah, Caleb, the son of Jephunneh. Of the tribe of Issachar, Igal, the son of Joseph. Of the tribe of Ephraim, Oshea, the son of Nun. Of the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, the son of Raphu. Of the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, the son of Sodai. Of the tribe of Joseph, namely of the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi, the son of Susi. Of the tribe of Dan, Amiel, the son of Gemali. Of the tribe of Asher, Sether, the son of Michael. Of the son of Naphtali, Nabi, the son of Vopshi. Of the tribe of Gad, Geuel, the son of Machi. These are the names of the men which Moses sent to spy out the land.
So Joshua, the son of Nun, in you sent out Shittim 2 men, and there wasn't named who the 2 men were, secretly to view the land, even in Jericho. That's when they had interaction with Rahab. So they're not named. And I thought it was Joshua and Eleazar, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it's funny. The last statement in that verse is that right there where Moses is declaring who that is, and Moses called Oshea the son of Nun Yahshua.
Mm-hmm.
Identifying him. That's and it's funny too. I was did you in the biography of Henry Clifford Kinley, McGlenn wrote, he reveals in there that one of the 7 Sabbath seals that was loosed was the revelation that Adam was Yahweh himself in a coat of flesh. And this is also one of them, is that Oshea the son of Nun, Yahshua the son of Nun, was Yahweh himself in a coat of flesh, taking the children of Israel out of Egypt.
Who does that you say?
What?
No, I was saying, what was that? I didn't hear the last word where you said the son of Nun.
Oh, Joshua the son of Nun, being Yahweh himself in a coat of flesh, taking the children out of Egypt,
Right.
is one of those mysteries that is one of the 7 Sabbath seals that was revealed, that was loosed. In concordance with how Glenn said, one of the 7 Sabbath seals that was loosed was the revelation that Adam was or Yahweh himself in a coat of flesh.
Okay. Mhm.
You know, I was reading through the biography, trying to pull something up that someone had said, and I know I read it before, but you know when you reread something and other things pop out a little bit, and that popped out, I was like, oh, I didn't realize he said this so plainly right here, where he brought up the 7 Sabbath seals, and he said that the founder was the angel that came to loosen the 7 Sabbath seals, and he said that one of those seals was the revelation that Adam was Yahweh Elohim in a coat of flesh, carrying out his purpose.
Oh. Yes.
And it stuck out to me too because we were talking about that before, because that was one of the questions that came up in Pasadena about the 7 Sabbath seals, and that's why it stuck out to me when I came across it, because that explanation, that understanding wasn't what was being presented, but it's what we were talking about in that sense, and how we took it further, not really further. We took it where you're supposed to sit with it, that you are that angel, and Yahweh has revealed himself unto you. To you are Yahweh. You are that angel. You are Elohim, loosening the 7 Sabbath seals for people, revealing the mysteries of Yahweh unto those who may hear. You know?
Mhm.
But yep. Oh, did did you see the excerpt I had found in the letters? Because Donald Bloomfield had offered some letters from the floor a couple of days ago in class, and I said, yeah, send them. He said, anybody want them? Ask for them. I said, send them to me. And they're the letters from when Glenn wrote the school that had gotten the newspaper to write the article about the world ending in 1996, and how Glenn shortly after wrote them that was not going to happen, and he wrote them a letter, and then he wrote the newspaper. And I wanted that letter because a lot of people try to slander Pasadena alongside and try to wrap up IDMR or Pasadena with the IDMR in the 96 end of the world claim. And I've testified and said the fact that Pasadena never pushed that and actually fought against it from the start actually shows that's about the only class that you can go to, and all the rest should have been closed their doors and put the padlocks on them and shaking in their boots scared for lying to the public. But and so I wanted the letters because it provides evidence to show that yes, Glenn was not, and he talked against it, and he wrote letters and whatnot. But in the letter, did you see where he said that how he protested against him, saying, "My father was never proclaimed to be African American. Both my parents were of the Cherokee Nation." And he said, "My great-grandmother on my mother's side was she was Cherokee was a white was an Irish woman,
Irish.
and that's where the
Yeah.
Irish comes in. But yeah, I was like, well, and then you got the dark-skinned Cherokees that finally got recognized by the federal government like 3 years ago or whatnot. Yeah, I was like, oh man, he really said it plainly.
Well, I mean, but you figured in the East, that's what it was. There's a lot of Indians. You're talking Ohio, Virginia, Michigan, down, you know, on the east, down that way. You have a lot of tribes.
Mississippi, Louisiana.
Mhm. And but yeah, you what was it? Cherokee, Blackfoot, and well, you got what was Seminole down in Florida.
Well, the big issue is the problem with what people imagine those people to look like compared to what they actually look like.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
Well, but
it's
they
funny.
were, a lot of them were fair skinned because of the weather. It's so cold. Because my mom's mother was Cherokee. But then my dad's mom, she was Blackfoot and something else. And there were a lot of Jews down there.
We're Cherokee and Blackfoot. My family. So, yes, West Indies. Something else.
And you figure you got a lot of Irish down there. And they're over there in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, the Irish definitely blended with the natives. Glenn gives that history in his genealogy. His great grandma was Irish. That means his great grandpa on his mama's side was still native and married an Irish woman, and that's what brought the lightness in his genes. But that should tell you that the Cherokee were not
but
light.
Grandma Katie was real light herself.
Yeah. So you go up the tree where it's just native and not blended in, and you get a little darker, which doesn't fit modern history or what's claimed as being real history. But what it does fit, it fits all the anthropology that we can dig up, all the old tapestries of what the Spaniards painted the natives to look like when they first came in the country, all of the old tobacco shop statues of Native Americans that they have in Denmark still to this day from like the 13th century. None of them is the red-skinned natives that we think of. All of them are dark-skinned folk. It's a whole confusion of these nations today. People looking for reparations for the wrong reason, and that's why they don't get them. If it was the reparations of paying these settlements that they owe the natives, it's a whole other story. Oh, man. But it's funny because this goes along with one time. There's a funny quote I heard the founder make one time, and I was like, huh. And so I did some investigation. He was talking from the floor, and it was one of the 60s tapes, and he said, in regards to like the civil rights and he brought up the natives, and he goes, this is their land. You see them out selling the beads and all that, and you ain't got no Indian representative in Congress to this day. And I said, huh, that's funny. And so I go look it up, and lo and behold, there is what you would call a native in Congress, a congressman. And so I was like, well, how can that be correct? And there was a black dude in Congress at that time too, but he was representing, Negroes. He wasn't representing an identity of being Indian but black. And I was like, when I came across this understanding of who the natives were, I was like, well, that reconciles exactly what the founder was talking about, how he said no native was being represented, because that was a big fight that happened back in the day, was killing the men and the natives and indoctrinating them against their own identity. And boy, they did a good job.
Yeah, they came over here, they stole their land and wanted to make them Catholics.
Yep. And that's the
Or
main reason they have the Indian
Protestants,
schools.
I should say, whatever.
Well, like the school the founder attended when he was younger wouldn't have been called a Negro school; it would have been called an Indian school. Almost all Negro schools from the founder's times were all called Indian schools. Not a single one of them were called a Negro school or anything. That didn't come about till like the 20s or so. But when the founder was in elementary school and all that, they were all referred to as Indian schools. That's a really interesting history when you actually go back to it. And I've been learning more about it lately, so it's real interesting. Like there's a whole people that was conquered not too long